So we're gonna be talking about Velma today. A piece of television that no one needed. The world
No one asked for.
no one asked for. No one needed. And I would definitely prefer Mindy to go talk to a therapist about herself than make shows to show us who she is. I don't care anymore. And I am ready to... I just need her to talk to somebody privately. Keep a journal.
And Mindy is the creator and voice of Velma. Correct.
Yes, correct.
It's like how you create and then star in this mess. How you decide to just want to be covered in it so bad?
I'm just
Like,
okay.
you,
So
like-
everybody here, we're gonna give people a little time to come in, but not much because there is so much to be said about this show. And let me know in the chat if y'all enjoyed Velma. Let me know if you liked it, loved it, hated it. I want to know what y'all thought about it before we roll into our thoughts. Yella said, if I ever been ready for Otaku Talk, today is the one. This show gives people visceral reactions to it. It is on IMDb, this is the third most hated show ever.
Ever? Oh, did you hear that didn't it beat Dragon Ball Evolution?
I think it did.
Like,
didn't
I
see
think
what
Dragon
two
Ball
shows
Evolution
were
had
above
like it had like a 2.3 and this got like a 1.3.
Damn, you beat Dragon Ball Evolution with the little white boy? Oh no. Oh no, I want to know what's above it. What's more hated than this show?
That's how you know. That's how you know it's that shit bad. When you beat Hipster Goku, when you beat that steaming pile of bull excrement.
that was Dragon Ball Evolution. It was pretty bad. He said, how many episodes did you watch? Just finished episode 4. Well, funny you asked that. What the funk? Because Twan and myself made sure we attempted to watch it for this show. I made it to episode 3 and I couldn't. I just... My children were checking on me as I was watching episode 3. They could just see the disdain on my face, my soul slowly leaving my body out of hatred and avoidance. What about you, Twan? What was your experience like watching it?
I watched episode 3. That's why I cut it off at. Actually, I guess in a previous time yesterday, I guess I watched all 4, but I fell asleep like around. Not fell asleep, but I just like was aggressively not paying attention.
Dissociated from your
body. Like, yeah, kind of. Like, it was to the point where it was just playing. And even though I knew I wasn't watching it anymore, even though I knew I've already built an opinion, it was still just playing. I didn't stop it. So by the time today came, I was like, I really only seen 2 episodes. So I went back to watch it again and I just refused to go past episode 3. It was like, why am I wasting more time?
It was bad.
In taking this.
It's bad. So
and that's the thing.
He said they're doing a season 2. And it's funny.
It already got greenlit?
Yeah. He said so many people hated it but watched it and got views that Harley Quinn should have gotten. So shout out to What the Funk, because you already see What the Funk.
What the Funk, he was already picking up on the vibes.
That's the vibe.
Right before the show.
Literally what I said.
We had this conversation.
He said this series is just herpes, but everybody acting like it's cancer.
But you see how both of those are unnecessary, right? You see how both of those get the fuck cancer, fuck herpes.
And both
hashtag,
of those can like have very bad, consequences. So I don't know. He said aggressive disconnect. He said he saw episode 4. Rashawn, critically drinking, actually likes Velma. He said, I like it. I'm starting from the beginning now and I understand it. Or he's fooled himself. Summer Miss Pies hasn't seen it.
I want to hear that.
I highly don't recommend it, Summer, but if you want to be part of pop culture, go ahead and watch it. Tape your eyeballs open. That's probably helpful. I feel like...
Or if you watch it enough to where you are just, I have to find good things about this show, you probably will find it. Like, I bet you on your rewatch, now that you decided that you like it, you probably gonna laugh at a lot more. I ain't gonna lie, there was moments in there what I think there was twice where a laugh did slide out. There were
two to let a laugh
moments.
Slide. I was clenching in them laughs like I had explosive diarrhea.
You said
and I was
clenching in them laughs.
trying to make it to the Kroger bathroom, okay?
That's the thing, because I wanted to give it its time. I wanted to like go into it, even if I was just like some kind of diehard Scooby Doo fan, like all of these reboot shows have. You all of a sudden the fan base of these shows just crawl out the woodwork when some bullshit go down. Because I swear to God, I ain't never heard nobody stand up for no Scooby Doo. And now that this is out, it's just like every Scooby Doo fanatic has crawled out from the baseboards and they making their voices known.
Where the Scooby Doo fanatics be at?
That's what I'm saying. Like, niggas, y'all just popping out of nowhere. I agree with you, but it's just like, where y'all niggas be hiding?
What the funk over there being nasty to about just the tip and you'll like it. That's always what weirdos say.
But that's the thing, like, this could have really been something enjoyable. Like, I am legitimately interested in a show about the Scooby Gang. You know, I don't need no brought it into 2023. We got TikTok and stuff, but you know, like Harley Quinn, where it's a very smart way that you approach that level of aggressive comedy and
like adult comedy,
fun and breaking the fourth wall. There's ways, there's tact involved when doing this. Velma is literally throwing every reference in their mouth, throwing all kind of different kinds of humor in their mouth, and they just spitting at the camera and seeing what we gonna enjoy. I feel like it's so desperate.
Velma feels like explosive diarrhea and vomiting. Like it feels like food poisoning.
And it smells like it too.
Like that's what it feels like. So yeah, we'll definitely give y'all a chance to come up and talk about it a little bit. Rashawn, if you want to come up as someone who enjoys it, I'm very curious what the funk said. What the funk don't. I don't know if you really enjoyed it. You don't sound like you did.
What you think about the contrarian?
I don't know. He might have enjoyed it. I mean, I get some of the jokes. So let's talk about.
I've seen the comments on YouTube, and too, there are some people that genuinely are enjoying this, apparently. Like, I don't know if it's their favorite show, but in the comments they're saying like, I could not stop laughing.
Right.
And I can also, actually, when I say it out loud, I can see that, because, you know, there is, there's levels to people's senses of humor, you know? Yeah. And me, I used to say all the time that I laugh at everything. As I grow older, I realize that's not true. But I do have I do laugh at a lot of very simple things. And the fact that I wasn't laughing at a lot of these jokes was saying a lot to me. Yeah,
it has some moments. Like, I like the therapist cashmere sweater. But even like when you find a joke you like, it's just hard to just enjoy the joke because it's just so much in every single joke, but not in like an intelligent way. Like, so yes, it would be the voice of God. People would be coming up. We're going to probably take a little time to just kind of say our thoughts, and then people can start coming up and be a Velma apologist or hater like me. So she said on paper it sounds good. I can't understand how it could have put. Yeah, like I think they were going for like big mouth kind of comedy. Family Guy's kind of another one. Like I like shows like that. I like fast paced, constantly hitting you with jokes and references. Like even though I don't fuck with Rick and Morty anymore, but at the time when I used to watch it, I enjoyed the pace of it. It was fast and it's like a lot of information, but it was executed well. And I like Family Guy. So like I like shows that have lewd humor, a lot of references, cultural, like kind of poking fun at stuff. Yeah, like I don't enjoy Big Mouth either, so this feels more like Big Mouth for me, but I do understand that there is a genre of those shows. So before we get into like really Velma, Twan, I was talking about like, I feel like this, who is this show for? Because I kind of feel like it's for the Big Mouth audience, but then I'm really not sure because I'm not the Big Mouth audience.
I want to say that this show is for the type of person who likes just a lot of random, aggressive, in-your-face humor. They like really, really tacky jokes. They like a lot of aggressive like race jokes back to back. They like comedy. Yeah. That's who it has to be for, because I can't just see this like you pinpoint a demographic right now. I probably would be able to tell you a reason as to why they don't like this show. Right. You know what I mean?
It seems like it.
So that's a hard question to answer.
Audiences constantly, like even the edgelord audience. I don't see them enjoying Velma. Like
I agree with you.
So I'm just trying to figure out who it's for. He said, what the phone said, I wonder how bisexual women feel about the show and the dynamics between Velma and Daphne. Don't get me started on that. But so yeah, I can't figure out.
I would love to hear that too.
Yeah, I can't figure out who this show is for. So that was confusing. I enjoy, a show that tries to update it and put even a feminist spin on a show. Like I like updated, change, subverting roles, expectations. I don't mind that, but I don't feel like this is even that. Really?
Yeah, because we've seen this done well. Harley Quinn just got brought up, and that's what we were talking about previously. Where like this show, I know you just started watching it, but even in the 2-3 episodes you saw, Brie, like
literally the first couple minutes of the first episode, I was like, yes, they know what the fuck they're trying to do.
Like it was accomplished well. What they did was they brought the story, the show that we know. All the elements are there, but we have it's just all the characters are broadened in a way that they didn't have like the ability to do before, with the language, with the gags, like how when Joker first popped up.
Right.
Listen, Joker first popped up and ripped this man's skin off of his skin. That's some shit that Joker would do, but we couldn't see that in no regular Joker movie. So it's like you bringing something to the table, you bringing something to the story. You're giving us an element that we didn't get before, and that's intriguing. Plus, it's just fucking funny. And it's actually legitimately hilarious.
Though the source material in general, because I love the perspective of Batman really being Joker's love, like Batman being the other person. It was always like that is how you take something, and you don't have to. They don't change it. You don't see Batman and Joker making out, as far as I know. It's just the first episode. Maybe later, I can't say.
Not yet.
But even in the first episode, it's just like they're not changing it. They're not making Batman and Joker like literally together, but it's just taking the story and like showing it through another lens of like, Harley Quinn's codependent on Joker, and like Batman is kind of always that thing he's chasing after, and like it'll never be her. And I just like diving into the dynamics that already exist and like, bringing it up to date. That's what I love about Harley Quinn. He said it's a clear example that that 8 brings viewers in the future. I don't know if people are gonna keep watching it. Like there's one thing that, like I feel like Family Guy's kind of like that, or even South Park, very long running shows. A lot of people hate them, but a lot of people love it. But it knows its audience, so it's not so repulsive to the people it's for that show keep going. It just keep going. In The Simpsons, like they just keep going. I don't see Velma so off-putting. I couldn't even finish the 4 episodes that exist now. I don't imagine that anybody could. Like, you would have to love this show, and I just don't see anybody loving this show.
I could see some people loving the show, but it's also people who I can't identify with. It's also people that probably, I don't know, they probably was, you know where some of these people were on January 6th. I'll say that.
I don't think they even like it because she brown.
That's true. Damn, you right. I was just going off the fact. I was going off the fact that I feel like Velma, like, because I can't decide. See, this is the thing. I feel like this is just but even what I'm about to say has contradictions to it, because I feel like this show is like they changed everybody's race to something different. It's not even just like, I'm just gonna make it a black cast besides Fred. Daphne is Asian, Velma's Indian, Shaggy's Asian? Black. Yeah, Daphne's Asian. Daphne's Asian.
Now I just want to punch the air.
With two lesbian mamas of different race as well. Shaggy, everybody's name is the same, but Shaggy's Norville now for some strange reason. He has dreads. And Shaggy or Norville is probably the only one that is, in my opinion, likable or has the ability for me to care about.
Is he adopted?
Norville's dad is?
Yeah.
So everybody's adopted?
His dad is
with mixed race parents?
His dad is the therapist.
See, I done already forgot.
See, look, he said, wait, Daphne is Asian. What the fuck? I just thought she had them eyes because it's fucking cartoon.
Daphne is Asian, I believe.
Oh, that's his stepdad.
Sure.
Okay, that's his stepdad. The theory.
Okay.
Well, single
but
mom.
still, it's just that's what I'm saying. It's like they're taking every trope that people complain about wanting, I guess, in other shows, and they just try to smush it in this one. But it's not even under the guise of being woke, because every other joke is a race joke. Every other joke makes fun of the diversity in the cast, and it's like you don't even do that in a witty way to make it like acceptable for me. It's just constant. It's pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of leaves me speechless in a way.
Absolutely despicable. Like, let me say this. I feel like somebody said this is for Mindy. This show is for her. I agree. Whoever said that. Like, girl, this show feels like she hates everybody that's not her.
Everybody.
Like, she has like self-hate issues because she's Indian and she's a brown girl, and she just has these things, and she hates everybody that she wanted to be at some point in her life, and the people that are available to her, she just humiliates them because like Fred is a white man, so of course, you know, being a white man is automatic. But even then, it's like, why? Like, first of all, these supposed to be like teenagers. So the whole Fred story for me is just problematic. Hey guys, the whole Fred thing is just like, why? Like, we get it. White men bad. Okay. Like, but why? Like, it's just so dumb. And then like Norville, who's available to her and like her, because she's a brown girl, so she probably gets hit on by black men in real life, like Mindy. She sees them as like gross, disgusting. I'm like too good for you or whatever. She goes after the men who don't want her. Mm-hmm. And is she gay? Like, girl, explore your sexuality, or she's just trying to queer bait, which I'm not a fan of either.
That's what I'm saying. Everything in this feels like a version of baiting. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's trying to get in all the audiences, all the marginalized communities, but at the same time, make these really unfunny jokes about them the entire time too.
It's how Mindy sees the world, I think. I mean, my only conclusion is this is how Mindy's experience is.
I mean, you do draw from your personal experience, especially when it comes to comedy. Like I know for a fact my comedy is based off of, you know, my experiences in life and my version of humor. That's where it's rooted, you know. So this is it was a disappointing showing in her sense of humor.
But I'm
just
gonna say she's a shitty person at this point, and she doesn't actually like men.
Damn.
I'm just like, you're a shitty person, or you have borderline personality disorder, and you don't like men. That's my conclusion. Every show that I'm
not gonna argue just because I don't got no basis to do so.
It's why I fucking hated the Mindy project, the Mindy show project, because you got borderline personality disorder.
I wasn't really a fan
go to therapy.
Anything I've seen Mindy in besides The Office, and I feel like that was circumstantial because The Office is just a ridiculous situation, and I would like anybody reacting to that. Think about how much of a
role she had in The Office.
Yeah.
And put her where Michael Scott was. Show would be intolerable.
No.
Michael Scott carried that show on his shoulders.
Yeah, couldn't. In her defense, nobody could really do Michael Scott's role other than Steve Carell.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll give a few more thoughts, and then I'm gonna invite people if you want to come up and come in as the voice of God into the show, as we always say. We're gonna drop the Discord link if you don't have it. I know some people over on YouTube may not have it. You can join my Discord, and then you can come in to join the live showroom, and you'll be able to come in as a voice. Hi Fly Guy Kai, hello. He said, I think the show is setting her up to be an asshole. I mean, she is an asshole. So
yeah, but so is everybody too, on top of that. Like, there's no genuinely, like, you know how some shows just put a good like person in there that just makes you like, you gotta have somebody. And right now the only person I think is Shaggy. Yeah, well, Norville.
Why is he not Shaggy?
I don't know why isn't he Shaggy? Everybody's Fred,
Shaggy?
Velma, Daphne. Why isn't he not Shaggy? Ellen, don't get started on Scooby coming.
Where's Scooby?
Don't get started on Scooby
They
coming.
probably couldn't do Scooby without getting. Maybe Shaggy and Scooby are trademarked to some degree, and they can't use them. That's the only thing that made sense to me.
Well,
like, you literally can't say Scooby Doo.
That's the crazy thing, because with while I'm talking, I'm trying to look this up as well. But Shaggy's whole thing is him bouncing off of Scooby Doo, you know?
Right.
Like, they are using each other to be able to, you really get the full package of Scooby with Shaggy. You get the full package of Shaggy with Scooby. And so leaving him out is an odd choice, especially because the show is Scooby Doo. I know this is called Velma, but still, like, it's what? And then I think there's been like images circulating of possibly in the next few episodes, we might actually be seeing Scooby, but in a different form. In a different form, bitch.
No.
And are you ready for this?
I know. I don't want to see it.
Are you ready for this?
No.
It's a black woman.
Oh.
Scooby.
No.
Scoobi.
Ooh, I'm finna punch. No. You said that is not true. Hey, Megan.
It's not.
He said that it's not true. She is Gigi.
The way I will viscerally vomit whenever somebody brings this show up is
Where did you find it?
I think I saw it on Twitter. I'm trying to like right now. Oh, here you go. No. This is a video, I guess, of somebody. Oh, you can't. Let me see. I'm about to send it to you.
I'm trying to drop the link.
And this isn't the video that I found. Yeah, I'm about to put it on Discord. This isn't the video that I saw initially. I just saw an image on Twitter, but this is the image in this YouTube video.
It better not be a dog. He said he saw it too. Listen, the way y'all gonna have to hold me back. I can't. She better not be a dog. She better not be a dog. That's all I'm gonna say.
And it's just like, I'm imagining, because in this image, it's Scooby or Norville. That's so annoying. I'm sorry. Norville, Shaggy. Yeah. There's Norville and Scooby, Scoobi, with like a sandwich with like half of a heart bit out of each piece. So I'm like, so now you making Shaggy and Scooby?
Oh my God. He said it trolled a lot of channels. I mean, but that's the bad thing. The fact that can even be believable is just telling you about the show. If it's not true, people just would believe it. That's bad. Like, and I'm gonna read Yellow's highlighted comment. It's from Mindy's perspective, then it's effing hilarious how much privilege she's showing by being able to make a show dragging all these people who oppress her in her life. That is the word. Yeah, I'm gonna need Mindy to like move on and just like realize she's not the victim anymore. So I dropped the Discord link. So you can join the Discord. If this is your first time joining, you're gonna have to verify. So all you'll see is verify. Just follow the instructions in there. Then you can enter into the real Discord and just jump in to join us live. Do not cam up because it's gonna move my shit around and I'm gonna be irritated. And just come in as the voice of God. Go. All right. So yeah, everybody's invited. I dropped the link here and on YouTube, so we're good to go. But listen. Let Scooby be a black woman. Oops.
I feel the same way. Like, remember when we was talking about Damon and what his wife had to be to look like for him to be dragging her?
Oh, yeah, we was like, let her be black.
Let her be a black woman.
Let her be black.
Just let it happen. I want to see it.
Hey, and welcome back. Hello, Rashawn and Yellow Pill Coffee Co. Welcome to the show. They have come in as the voices. At any point, we'll chime in. So, how about I give us a topic to start with, okay? So, what do we all think about? We're going to go through some of the characters and the spin and what you think they were trying to maybe pull off and what it's giving, okay? So, we'll start. We've been talking about, let's do Daphne because we haven't talked about her much, So, Daphne was kind of the popular girl. She was Fred's girlfriend on the original Scooby Doo. And all these people were friends on the regular Scooby Doo as well. So we know that that's not true. So what do we think of Daphne? We can let our guests go ahead and go first. So Rashawn, you can start. You got to hear first. So we'll start with you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Daphne, I was not a big fan of the way they did Daphne until I understood what they were trying to do. Now I don't take any of it at face value. Like, so Daphne's cool in the way that they're trying to, for me, convey a message through the stuff. Like the jokes and stuff for me is all like a superficial layer that's like rubbing everybody the wrong way. I don't like them either. But there's a subtle messaging that I think is actually like, I keep using the word subversive, but it's like there's an undercurrent of a message that's being completely covered up by the way they deliver their jokes and the way they put a layer of SJW on top of everything. I think all of that's false. I think all of that's fake to throw people off. Underneath, I see a different message.
Like, what is that? I'm really interested, especially because I like hearing Rashawn talk. What is like? What are you getting from it? What are you getting from her specifically? I guess.
What I am actually seeing is almost like a manosphere or red pill messaging coming underneath. Like them throwing a different skin on everybody is like a rejection of it, because it doesn't stop anybody from being a complete mess. It doesn't stop any of the mayhem. Everybody's still a trash individual. So that's all like just a waste. Like, okay, we're gonna make a moot point of this skin and gender thing. It doesn't change anything. Everybody's still gonna go through all the same problems and struggle, all that stuff. But also beyond that, if you notice, all of the women have a lot of issues going on. Anytime a man puts forth like he's having some sort of an issue, it almost gets laughed at. Like the way Velma laughed at I'm gonna say Shaggy. Velma laughed at Shaggy when he was trying to tell her that he liked him. Like that was he got friend zoned, and then he was trying to earn money so that he could buy her affection. You know, so you see the struggles of the men, the late bloomer Fred trying to live up to his father, and then even when he talked about, does your father put out cigars on you? Velma shifted away from his trauma and pain very quickly.
Crazy. She said she smoked cigarettes.
Right. So all of the times where men are trying to express something, it gets laughed at, glossed over, moved on from, to these situations that women are kind of concocting and making up completely. Like just full crazy stuff. And even when it comes to like the beauty standard where the serial killer was operating from, they were still willing to go back into the beauty standard, even though it meant they might get killed. Like they could not come out of the beauty standard long enough to save themselves. They all had to, like one snuck into the bathroom, put on lipstick. And by the end of it, when Velma was trying to reveal her master plan of making everybody ugly, she pulled back the tarp and everybody was back in their beauty standard because they couldn't make it one day. Not living in that fake facade of makeup and filters and beauty. So what I'm hearing is the thoughts of men disguised as the thoughts of women.
Okay.
Let me tell you how I never got an ounce of that deep in the slightest bit, but I see it though. But I see it when you
well articulated. What the Funk on the YouTube side says,
very well
very well articulated. And what the Funk, if anybody on the YouTube side wants your comments to come up on the screen, or see where most of the people are hanging out at, we're over on Twitch, Whitebree123. So you definitely can swing on over there if you're like, there's nobody here, I'm just talking to myself. Most people are hanging out on Twitch side, but now they've come up, so just like to throw that out there. Follow me on Twitch. So welcome to the show, Yella. Do you have what do you think of Daphne?
Daphne is an interesting case. I'll take Daphne's character as like the entire package of her and her parents. You know what I'm saying? It's weird how they play it. Like, one, she's adopted. So it's like she's an adopted Asian girl who you don't know is Asian.
Okay.
Wait, she doesn't know she's Asian, or we don't know she's Asian?
She don't present as Asian.
No, right. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that
she got red hair,
That's true.
Yeah. Everybody else's ethnicity stands out. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why did you go so? Why? She's terribly drawn. First of all, and y'all know what I mean, but especially y'all watch anime. She's terribly drawn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Horribly drawn. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big complaint with the show in general. People saying that it's not that well drawn.
It's not. But I mean, she has like Asian eyes.
Twin, you watch anime. You know what an Asian person should look like.
No, because anime characters, for the argument's sake, anime characters be looking white. Really?
Yeah, and they be having all kind of blue.
They eyes don't even be
pink.
Asian on anime.
Yeah.
But I'm saying though.
But I feel what you're saying.
But yeah, she don't look. I wouldn't guess. I just thought she might have had
saying.
slanted cartoon eyes. Like there's a drawing style, like Brace Face, Batman, Harley Quinn got them same eyes. So I just thought they was cartoon eyes.
Yeah, specifically, Daphne's supposed to be East Asian.
East Asian?
Yeah.
Wait, East Asian is the light Asians. What's East Asian?
That's what this shit
Is that the light Asians? That's like the Koreans,
Plus the damn
Japanese,
that white Asians.
Chinese.
China, Japan, Mongolia, North Korea, South Korea, Taiwan.
Okay, yeah. I was
The
like,
damn
she
that
East
white
Asian?
Asians, pretty much.
Yeah, the lighter one. Okay. I mean,
Okay. But nah, I mean, I you know what? It's weird how they've kind of taken their arc from being enemies to, you know what I'm saying,
The lovers.
lesbian arc. Yeah. In like the blink of an eye. She's okay. If we had to rank it, she's probably like but I don't hate her though. Like I don't hate Daphne's character. I mean, I don't hate Daphne's character. I don't. She's probably like one of the least hateable. Yeah.
She would probably be right behind.
I mean,
she would be right behind Shaggy for me.
She got to deal with Velma.
I mean,
Wouldn't that frustrate you?
I mean, she got tiger parents that aren't Asian. She obviously now. I mean, if the Asian part was obvious to me, maybe they said it and I missed it. But it's like, well, I can see that she's trying to conform and she wants to, fit in, and she's Americanized and all that stuff. So I mean, I can get that. Daphne's the least problematic one. So I agree with that. So, okay. So you generally she's the one of the least problematic. Who's the most problematic person for you? Yellow.
The most Mindy.
Mindy.
Right. Not
You
even
said
Velma. Right.
Outside of Velma, because she's just completely unlikable as the main character of the show.
No, I wasn't saying Velma. I was saying Mindy.
He said Mindy, the person, the human.
Who is though? Like for real, what's the actual answer to that? Let me think.
For me, it's Fred. I just hate what they did to his character. Not his personality. I don't like I don't care for the storyline that they're like. I mean, if I kind of looked at it like Rashawn says, social commentary, I could see that it's like, oh, you got these white boys who have a sense of entitlement and, they're like, emotionally fragile and they go out and they kill people because they don't get their way. And I mean, I can kind of see the social commentary of that. I just,
that's all I saw from face value.
Yeah, but this show didn't need to be like using Scooby Doo characters to tell this story though.
Right.
Like, that's where they become problematic for me.
Like, what the fuck has Fred done to you? Yeah, like, what the fuck did Fred do to you?
Really? But I mean, because when you think about... Go ahead, Yellow.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just gonna say, it seemed like she wrote this, trying to be Velma. This is what she thinks Scooby Doo should have been.
Oh, I hope not. I hope that's not what that is.
She said she's always felt like Velma, and she hired a voice actor who she said she had a crush on to play Fred's voice. I don't know. She's weird.
That's...
Yeah, like...
that shouldn't be the reason behind your casting.
I can't even see Fred being problematic. At best, Fred is what, 14, 15?
Like, these supposed to be
still
teenagers,
a kid,
too.
you know what I'm saying?
So it's weird.
Right. So my thing is this. It's weird. It's not even that. Fred can't be problematic when the motherfuckers around him is constantly mentioning how small his penis is.
That's awesome.
I think he can still be problematic, but that's also not right.
No, I'm saying, like, what is he? No, but seriously, though. No, I'm saying, like, what did he do though? Like,
well,
a lot of his lines.
His fragile masculinity is basically the problem, like his fragile masculinity.
He's 15.
Yeah, which is why the story
he
for him
hasn't
is
gone through
ludicrous.
puberty yet.
I mean, he's gone through
Right, that's what I'm
puberty.
saying. So it's
I mean, he done had that growth spurt over the
No,
summer.
that's the whole.
They 15. Oh, they say
No,
he
that's
hasn't?
That's the whole gimmick. That's the whole gimmick, right? That's the
he's
whole
a
reason.
man, baby man.
With that jawline, fuck out of here.
He like.
Fuck out of here. There's nothing about Fred presenting on
That
the
was the whole
show
reason.
as a prepubescent boy. He does not even present as prepubescent. He's not smaller than everybody else. He doesn't have childish features. He has the jawline of a grown-ass man. And you want me to say, well, he hasn't gone through puberty. Ha. Like, no. If that's supposed to be his story, then draw that motherfucker like he ain't went through puberty. He should look like he's a 10-year-old.
But Bree, that would take diving deep into logic to come up with that reasoning, which is, I feel like, ain't really the goal here.
I'm sorry.
But there could be a lot of points that I'm missing, the same as Rashawn just brought up with his last statement with Daphne. I'm interested in seeing if there's any more of those, because really it just seems vapid and very shallow to me.
I don't even think they thought about it as much as Rashawn did. But Yellow, hate to cut you off. I'm gonna
don't either, but it was a great point.
Y'all some haters.
I'm gonna let Rashawn jump in. Hey, Snappy over there on the YouTube side. He said, please don't feed this show. And he said, but no to Fred being prepubescent. Now, we're going to talk about it because this is garbage. She wanted attention. She gave everybody look at Mindy. You know.
Oh, gosh, you're such a hater.
No, that's what we used to do to our friends, and they're being obnoxious. Like, everybody stop. Look at Mindy.
And that's exactly what they would have done on this show. That's exactly one of the jokes they would have put into this show. Everybody stop. Look, let's give Velma attention. And that's what they did. As a matter of fact, that was a scene where she was on the sidewalk looking for attention. And nobody paid her attention. And some of the other girls had to show her how to get attention from people. So, I mean, you're dead on there. They're trying to show us our behavior through bad comedy. They might have tried to make a good comedy, but it's bad comedy. The jokes are bad.
Yeah.
But they're trying to show us our behaviors. Even the one who is the least trying to get attention, Velma, was trying to get attention to the point that she was twerking in the mirror at one point until she broke the mirror.
Fell back into it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like we all fall into. I think there was a pregnant lady. They were trying to help a pregnant lady, and even she was like, "Get my ring light out of the trunk if you're gonna have your cameras out." Like, so they're showing us our superficiality through these characters. They're showing us our tendencies.
Do you think it's because I feel like that's if anything, I feel like that right there is the meat. If I had to pick out some theme or some through line through this whole thing, it ain't no mystery about her mama, what her mama had. It's that right there. But I feel like it's so like consistent over and over again, back to back to back, constant fourth wall breaking jokes where that's the premise of it, where it's just like it doesn't leave much room for us to get to those things on our own. You know, I feel like it's a show that doesn't treat us as intelligent people for the most part. It's just like everything that a character's feeling, any situation that just occurs, they blatantly state what the scene is and how it affects the story, you know, in that moment. Right. So it's like, I don't know, that's not enjoyable to me. I want to be able to enjoy the program, but also come up with these things and piece this stuff together on my own.
Like Rick and Morty kind of is really good at that. Even though it's not for everybody, but Rick and Morty is really good at it. It treats the audience like you're intelligent. And if you go back and watch it, you can always find new things. Or for the people who want to, you know, look for more stuff, there's more there. There's jokes that you can only get if you know certain things. And it's not like spelled out for you. And that's why some people hate it. Some people hate it because of that. But yeah, I'm like you, Twan. I don't want it's like, you know.
But I don't think any of this was spelled out. Like, I mean, because everybody's saying the opposite of what I'm saying. Everybody else is getting something else from this. They're not noticing anything that I'm noticing. So it feels like nothing that I've just said has been spelled out. It's all been covered up through those bad jokes, through the vulgarity, through the sexuality, through the SJW, the woke. Everybody keeps pointing out woke and SJW, but if that's just like a skin, if that's just a facade, that's what's being spelled out, because that's what everybody's pointing. Oh, they're trying to be woke. They're trying to be diverse. Why are they doing that? But if they don't really care about the diversity, if that was just to throw people off, and you have to actually dig deeper to find the true message, like even to like the mother disappearing, like Velma had concocted a whole narrative in her head, and like like she, what we keep calling the hex and we keep calling word magic. Velma has been word magicking this entire time, the circumstances of her life. And even the cops, when the cops were interrogating Velma, they were putting on that facade of kindness and love and familiarity. But the moment Velma made a move to stand up, they pulled their guns out on her like they were getting ready to shoot her. Like both of them, immediately. It's like, it's that same culture of like that fake love and kindness. And like, so they're showing us our behavior, but we're not catching that part of it because of what they're masking it with.
Like
we're not catching it because of the
shit joke on top of it.
Well, I think I am. Maybe that. You're right. I feel like maybe the entire outline of what you gave about the whole Daphne viewpoint isn't being told to us in that way. But I feel like the beats that we do catch, I guess, or that they present to us, that I guess we're supposed to follow along with it, those still in essence feel interesting to me. Like, I would love to dig into the Velma's whole, having these hallucinations from the guilt of thinking she is the reason her mom's gone. But even that, like, I feel like I didn't have time to really care about it. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. I mean, I understand the subtleties of it, like you said, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't care.
Yeah. I feel like the hallucinations and the monsters are supposed to be like kind of her fears and her anxieties or her repressed things that she's kind of keeping down. Mm-hmm. Like, that's kind of my understanding of what they are. So, like, I mean, there's deeper things they're trying to tell in this show, but it's just like, it's so intolerable in between, though.
Yeah. Which kind of makes me pull back from it. But
I agree with you.
Positive point for me is every scene where she was doing, I think a lot of people had the same viewpoint, was those scenes where she's hallucinating was where they took it up a notch with the animation, which at least I appreciate that part.
Yeah, that was.
Because those scenes were pretty dope. Like with the hand crawling all the way up her shoulder when her mom turned into that big ass creature. Those are some great animated scenes that I enjoyed.
I mean, what would they need to, Rashawn, so you agree it's under 10 pounds of shit, and that's why it's kind of hard to get through. What should be stripped? I'm going to have everybody answer this. And then we'll continue. But what should be stripped down to make this, what would you like to see? Not just as this show is now. If you could strip down some stuff, add a little bit here and there. I'd make something whole new, because that's what really need to happen. What would you turn this show into? And let's see. We'll start with Rashawn. Why don't you go first? Well, you seem to like it, so we'll let you go first.
I honestly don't know what I would turn it into. Maybe I would take Scooby Doo away from it, because I think people had an emotional reaction to something that they loved and grew up with perverted. So maybe I would just strip that off, like off the top. The rest of it, I think it needs to be hidden under the 10 pounds of shit, because they want you to shovel to find. They want you to shovel to find actual message.
But I really know how long I haven't worked out in so long. I don't got the strength for that shovel.
We tired, boss.
I get it. I understand, but I think nobody can hear where we are in our society. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to listen to that message. I've seen it happen when people try to deliver the message of the plight of men. There's a collective sigh, like almost like the Velma side. It's disgusting to hear that men are. I'm just saying. Unless you Frank on Harley Quinn, he definitely stands up for the men. He stood up for the men, but that's overt. That was heavy-handed. Like, that was on the surface. Mm-hmm. So you can have it on the surface, but then everybody's gonna be like, oh, they're trying to deliver a message. But if you make it look like you're delivering one message, but then hide the opposite message underneath it, to me, that's either brilliant or I'm crazy, which I'm willing to accept.
Yeah, because ain't that what y'all hate when women do that? If this show was really for the manosphere's perspective, don't y'all hate when people do that shit? Isn't that like the bane of y'all existence?
Well, we are going to have to learn to operate in the feminine way to get messaging out, because we can't be direct that we're aggrieved. We can't be direct that we're in some way victims, though that language doesn't fit empathy towards men. So there has to be some way to start. Like, I believe in social engineering. I believe this is an attempt to, like a social experiment. This is trying to see if people can tap in to the subtext of the message. Because the overt message, it looks like SJW, but like Twan pointed out earlier, all of the diversity doesn't serve any purpose. So that can't be it. Nobody's so stupid as to put all this diversity. Like, there's no idiot on this earth. Even Austin Hollerman, who I like to make fun of, the passport bro.
Right.
There's no idiot on this earth that could put this much diversity in intentionally and not have it serve not one purpose, not one narrative purpose. Nobody tries to send a message about, well, because you're adopted, there's no messaging that comes from any of the diversity. So that has to be a facade to keep your eyes away from something else. So that you're not paying attention to what they're really trying to say.
That sounds like optimism. Snappy said the show's trying to be too meta. I don't know. I like your takes. It just feels optimistic. I think it's
I
that they don't
genuinely
have
enjoy
that.
both of those.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to do that. But go ahead, Yellow.
Very much on the nose. I was gonna say a lot of that is very much on the nose. Like even from the first scene, everything is. I don't think there's anything. That's the thing about it. Like y'all saying it's under 10 pounds of shit. I feel more like it's just 10 pounds of shit spread over a thin layer. So you can see.
Hold on, Yellow. Hold on 1 second. I don't know who you are, and you don't seem to know what we're talking about. So no, you cannot join. But feel free to listen and pick up on what we're talking about and chime in on chat. Or get banned. Okay. Carry on. Go ahead, Yellow.
No, I was gonna say because a lot of the jokes and a lot of the message that to me, and maybe because I was watching it and I was nah, you good, Naya.
He said later. Like, he said he was gonna just dismiss himself, which I appreciate. You can just go ahead and see yourself out.
Should I?
No, he said he was gonna see himself out. So carry on.
All right. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's any. Like I said, y'all was saying it's under 10 pounds of shit. I think it's like 10 pounds of shit spread out over an even surface. Because
I gotta walk over a field of shit.
But it's all there is. Like I don't think
it's like you can tap on a little bit and crack it and get to the meat of things.
Yeah. Like it's literally what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the very first scene, the very first line about the entire show shows you where she stands.
What was the line? What they say?
The first thing she says is about the origin story thing. Like, yeah, this is an origin story, and typically with an origin story, it's about some handsome man coming into more power, or
Hold on, wait, Yellow, hold on, wait. So this is supposed to be before Scooby Doo gang existed as we knew them in childhood? Is this what she's trying to say? Like this is the Scooby Doo gang before they had the mystery van and the dog and Shaggy was a smoker?
Yes.
I had a problem with the whole origin story tagline from the get-go once I actually saw what the show was about. Because I was like, whose origin? This is not the Velma that we know. So what are we going deep into? Like,
there's no way these kids would turn into those kids. I mean, even if you reshaded their skins, let's say Velma was Indian, let's say Daphne was Asian, let's keep them the races they are in this new one. I can rock with that, but there's no way you're gonna tell me these characters turn into those characters in different races.
All right. So I was curious about that. I was like, origin story of who? Is this somebody that we already know?
And it was
we just getting the origin for first?
And it was even to the point to where she was like, and if it is a female, she's it's the pretty girl coming up out of the struggle. You know what I'm saying? So she's shading it from either direction. If it's a man in general, it's just bad. But if it's a woman, it's typically the pretty girl, and she's quote unquote not the pretty girl. That's Velma. So she can shade her too, which blows the fuck out of me too, because up until now, everybody's had a crush on Velma. That was like the secret, like low key,
the nerdy cute girl.
Right.
Yeah, like, they made Velma uglier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people was digging Velma. You know what I'm saying?
So what would you want them to take away to make this better? Like something like it is, but not as off-putting. Like what do you think they should have took away or added?
Take away Velma.
He said take away Velma.
He said take away Velma.
Oh,
So who would be the main character of the show?
Velma.
Yeah,
Velma dies tragically. Goddamn.
Who would you make be the main character of the show then?
Motherfucking Norville. Let's go on the road to Norville. Let's see how he becomes Shaggy. Because y'all was like, why y'all keep calling him Norville? Why y'all keep calling him Norville? Because Shaggy is his stoner name.
I mean, now knowing it's the origin story, and if it is the Manosphere lens, like Rashawn said, I guess Shaggy is basically all the men who do the performative acts like they're supposed to, and then realize it's hopeless, everything's meaningless, and fuck it, let's smoke this weed. And are they saying that's how Shaggy becomes Shaggy? He tries to do all the things, and then he just is like, fuck it all? Because I can rock with that, because that be happening.
That's why I told you watch episode 4 though, because if you see
I'm not watching that shit. I ain't watching. You gonna have to tell me. You just gonna have to tell me what happened. I literally cannot watch it.
That to me has been the best scene in the entire show. So the black girl in the crew of pretty girls. This is the same episode when they doing the whole ugly thing, where they changing the girls and trying to make them ugly, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is whole beauty standard and how you apply beauty and shit. So they show the black girl who's in the pretty girl group in the bathroom, and she done changed her whole swag. She done blended it like she ain't. If you seen, she kind of fell into more of the, let's say, like European aesthetic beauty. She had like the long hair and all that other shit. But when you see her, she got on like some dope ass overall. Like she bit a little bit of the style that Emma gave her. She had the overalls on. Like she had the same overalls on. But she had them like rolled up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? She had some fly ass kicks on. You know what I'm saying? She had like a little lace top on, and then she had her hair braided.
Okay, so she had more of a. She just kind of had more of like ethnic or black, style to her. Okay, and then okay, she changed outfits and then
she walks out of the bathroom and bumps into a student and knock her down. Guess who the student is? Norville. They do the whole lock eyes and the romantic music started playing, and then now that might be the only reason to make me watch this show. See him hook up with her and treat the shit out of Velma. As long as that happened within the first I watched it. That is it.
I do like some patty. So if that happens, let me know so I can go back and watch it.
I don't know. That's not a redeeming factor for me. That's not redeemable enough for me. But I can see where it's going. I'll check in with y'all after 4 more episodes. It was how we feel about it. Twan, what would the show need to take away or add to become, besides deleting it? What would it need to happen?
So without trying to make too much of a change, like when it comes to like the changes they made to make this show what it is already, like with the race and all that type of stuff, I think what I would change, and it's honestly probably one of the things that I laughed at, but I could see I wouldn't mind it be gone, is like some of the aggressive type of comedy. I feel like I wanted to be toned down, I guess, just a smidge, so we can actually have room for maybe it's just a little bit more dialogue that you can take away from, other than just a random unfunny quip. So I guess I would just like tone down the ridiculosity of it a little bit. But that scene where Fred popped in to protect Velma, I guess, and he took that, that device you use to cut construction paper, or like it has the grids. When he took that shit and threw it across the room and it bounced back and sliced that dude's leg off, it was so random for me. I laughed at that part. But it's the same thing with lookism. I laughed at that part, that random ass part where that girl flew across the screen. So even though I did laugh at that, I probably would just maybe tone it down a little bit.
I laughed at that part too.
I did too, bro.
I cried the biggest laugh
some random, random comedy. I mean, it has its moments. I think it's trying to do this Family Guy thing, where like Family Guy has like these overarching stories of the episode, but there's so much random happen like almost all the time. But I think the difference is they found a way to pace it. Like you do get full. It just feels better paced. This feels like it's just constantly trying to. Okay, it's been 5 seconds. Maybe it's trying to appeal to the TikTok generation, and it's like every 5 seconds, you gotta change something. It's a thing. I don't know if y'all. Like
the attention span.
Yeah, as a content creator, they will even tell you when editing videos for like YouTube and stuff like that. They're like every 5 seconds you want to have some kind of transition, you want to have some kind of cut, you want to do something. So it could be just different timing because of new generation. But if I were to take away anything, I just wanted to maybe not. It's already a 20-minute episode. I feel like they're cycling through so many different character story in the span of an episode, even though there's like an overarching story that it's too much. Like it's like you got the 4 people, the gang basically, and it's cycling through all these a lot of times separate stories, or I don't know, it just feels too busy. I wanted to slow down just a little bit because I do see this being a lot like Harley Quinn, and I feel like that's what Harley Quinn does well. It feels like Harley Quinn is like, we got some episodes ahead of us. We got time. Like we have time to kind of tell this and put this funny joke in. Let's work up to the joke. Let's give the joke a payoff. Like I feel like this kind of isn't confident that it's going to have time, which is trash. So it probably won't. It shouldn't to be.
It's only like 4 weeks that this is going to be airing, right?
I don't know. Are there more episodes? Because it's 4 episodes now.
I think it's like 2 episodes a week.
Next one come out on the 26th.
Okay, so
is that 2 episodes each that they're putting out though, or is it just one?
I can't imagine it being one. It's only a 22-minute show.
Yeah, I thought I heard.
What you say, Rashawn?
I thought he said it's not worth.
It's really not worth waiting for.
It's not. Yeah, they need to just drop it in batches. Like if they just did 4 episode batches, would be cool. I think. But I mean, it just don't feel like, even in the span of a season, I think if you're a good writer and you know you have this certain plot points you want to hit in the season and payoffs you want to have, I think they could have had space. They don't seem like they feel like they had the time to have the joke pay off. Because like, I'll be curious to know where the story goes by the end of the season. Because like, even with Fred, I feel like that should have been like, maybe there should have been a little bit more of a payoff in it. Like, I don't know. It just feels like it's happening. It's a little rushed, a little slow down. Even if that means dropping some of the smaller jokes and antics and just kind of building up a little bit better. I don't know. I would check.
Yeah, I see it said, just confirmation, it said over the weeks, 2 episodes will be airing weekly until there's 10 episodes. So 5 weeks of the show.
I can't watch.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch.
I'm up for a little self-inflicted damage.
Self-inflicted, a little hate watching.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So y'all gonna watch it? Okay. Before we, I guess we'll just go into whatever other thoughts anybody want to bring up, and then Harley Quinn a little bit. But what about Mindy? Like, do you think that this show tells us anything about Mindy? Because for me, I'm just like, she's a horrible person, and she seems like she'd be very interesting to be in a room. That's how I feel about her. So we'll go.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, let me start because I always felt that way. I always felt similar. I always felt like Mindy Kaling is just not somebody that I personally want to spend a good amount of time with in a room by myself. Jesus. Like, it's just, I've never really just had a pull or an attraction to any of her projects. Like, any of the stuff we mentioned already previously. I haven't even seen a lot of the Mindy project just because it was like, this is a show about her. I'm out. Like, there's nothing for me.
Am I offline?
But, I was just over there for a second. No, you still there.
Okay. I'm just making sure. My stream manager's offline, but I'm still there.
Yeah, but that's all I felt about Mindy.
Go ahead, Rashawn.
Well, for me, I don't know much about her myself. I did read something, and it makes me believe it's true. Like, she's been playing the same character her entire career, and I know one of y'all said it in the Discord too. Like, she's playing the same character in everything she does. But I also believe from this, I believe she thinks she's smarter than she is. like this like attempt to try to hide a message of like, because this really feels like trying to paint the women as a certain way and showing the men as kind of like passengers in the women's madness. But there's a subtext to everything, including like the mom left. You've got the all the girls that have all the problems. Velma's got problems. And the guys kind of get accused of things or kind of get played to the left. Like if you have like, I know Brie called it a pick me project or something like that. But it's very weird to see a woman spearhead something that makes women look so bad intentionally. You purposefully point out all the flaws in women's behavior and thinking, and you kind of paint the guys as sympathetic in all the ways. So it's weird when everything's like something's unbalanced in that way. Like gender unbalance is always kind of weird because all the guys are kind of empathetic. Velma's dad, kind of empathetic. The guy with the cardigan was sympathetic. Norville, he's sympathetic. These are characters that you can like gravitate to. All the women are kind of empty, playing on tropes. Even with the serial killer killing the most beautiful women, what's he taking? Their brains. He's saying they have no brains. They're brainless. They're brain dead. I'm going to kill the people that are useless to society because they're only worried about their beauty. So it's so weird. It's so one-sided to fit a male narrative. But they put on almost like an insult. I'm going to make this look SJW. I'm going to give them everything they ask for. There's going to be all this diversity. Everybody's going to be adopted and interracial, and you're going to get all the stuff you want. But I'm going to still tell you about are weak and inept, and the men are the real people that are being done wrong. So it was weird to me that was so heavy-handed of an undertone. I've never seen an undertone so heavy-handed.
I gotta find this.
I agree with that, and I feel like I might have not been able to vocalize it in that way, but I feel like that might be the reason. It just is such an uneasy feeling because you get that vibe. Like maybe even if you're not able to describe it, there's a purpose here that seems shifty when it comes to the way y'all present this cast and stuff like that. So thank you, Arshawn, for stating it like that.
That points out too. I saw a TikTok video where this girl, is so funny because the way she comes to the conclusion of who this show is for. Do you guys know what's his name? Bo Burnham. Y'all ever heard of him? Some white dude, kind of like 30.
Sounds familiar.
Like a comedian that like white red pill kind of guys really love or something like that. Like I don't know.
I just looked him up and I do not know who this is.
Yeah, we wouldn't. But she made a connection that Mindy, that's who this show is for. So I guess that would support what Rashawn is saying because I feel like that has to be who the show is for. But when I say pick me, it just more so feels like she hates everybody that's not her. Like I think Yella was saying, like all these people have oppressed me. I don't even feel like it's a show that is supportive of men either. Like I feel like everybody is just painted as. I mean, if it's a study of human behavior, like real life, I mean, yeah, but it also feels like she's degrading the men as well. I don't know. It don't quite hit the messaging. So that's why I'm like, I'm not 100% sure that's who it's for either because it's so degrading to them. But I don't know if it's supposed to be like, well, this is how women treat y'all and it's not right because I'm not feeling that either. I don't know. I'm having a hard time. No, like, because I feel like the way they paint the men in this show, it's not the dumb caveman trope per se of most shows, but it still doesn't feel like a positive light either.
No, but that's why I'm just trying to point out. I'll try to make this real quick. So I said it's like the victimization. It's like the status that men, the plight of men, the plight of masculinity. You have to have a plight. You have to be down. So it is. It's not showing us in a positive light because we're not heroes. Because we're in a weaker position. But we're always given in this cartoon, we're always given an out. Like Fred had the over-dominating father. Norville he's being slighted by Velma. He's chasing her affection. I can't remember what the sweater guy is, but then Velma's father was left by the mother. He was, so everybody's the victim. Every man in the series is a victim of some woman. Some capacity, or the father, the dominating father. So either way, like all the guys who are being put in a victim place are giving an empathetic reason to attach to him. Well, Norville, dang, he's being in the friend zone. That's bad. oh, Fred, he had the dominating, abusive father. That's bad. Or the father, Velma's father, man, the mother just up and left her family. So each guy, and I can't remember the cardigan guy. I don't remember his story at all. But all the 3 other guys that I know are in the series, all 3 of them have a sympathetic leaning. But none of the women are given anything like that.
Yeah, I guess not. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's like I'm pulling up a video.
I'm trying, bro.
He said, "I'm trying, bro."
I'm looking at it, yeah, like I'm looking at it like that, and you're right. They do have sympathetic parts of their story. And even with the cardigan dude, he marries the single black mom. If you look at Norville, you know that's not his kid. So he married the single black mom. And the crazy part is that dad looked like Shaggy. You know what I'm saying? If you go back and look at him, how they drew him, he looked like Shaggy.
I wonder if that's gonna have a payoff. That's the one thing I am curious if any of this has a payoff, because I'm really not willing to watch it now as it is. But if nothing has a payoff, I'm definitely on it. Because I feel like it needs to.
But you had asked how do we feel about Mindy, and this is where what you were saying is going to kind of tie into that. Like I had said it already, this is basically Mindy's hate letter to everybody. That the only one person, like I get it, they got reasons to be sympathetic, but they don't have any personal redeeming qualities. None of the men really have anything that make them, except for real Shaggy, Norville's father.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because he married a single black woman. You know what I'm saying? He did the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all getting this show too much.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can see
I feel like this is just like how when I was looking at Aki on that anime, like he not a human because he's walking weird. Like I feel like y'all really just trying to not want to believe this show is as fucking dumb as it is. I don't know. I'm sorry. That may be immature of me. I just feel like this show is fucking like this kind of humor is done well. We know what well done this kind of humor looks like, and this is not it. And it's so bad, and we could kind of tell what she was going for, but it was executed terribly. Yeah. If people are describing the goodness of your show as being underneath layers of shit, I mean that's kind of bad.
It's like there is good there. You just gotta make it through. You just gotta find it. Search harder.
Writing. I don't know. There's bad writing. If y'all two had to, if y'all seem to have better, everybody except me. So Rashawn, if there was something you would tell somebody why they should watch the show, got people listening to you right now. Some people haven't seen it. Why should they watch the show?
I wouldn't tell anybody to watch this show.
Oh no!
And that's number one. I wouldn't tell anybody.
If it's part of a conversation, we gonna talk about it. But watch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell anybody to watch this show. No, the comedy's not good.
But yeah.
No, the comedy's bad. The comedy is bad. The jokes are poorly written. They're poorly timed. They're poorly executed. They're not set up at all. That's why I say I have to.
They're not set up.
They're not set up at all. So I have to take away all of the humor. Like I don't laugh at this show at all. But I started to notice because I spent so much time in the manosphere space was the message that's how women show men. Because even like Daphne, when they talked about Fred hadn't they've been together a year and she had never taken the pants off. Ben was like, "What is he gay?" Immediately, that's the immediate response to black men, especially in the black manosphere red pill space. That's exactly where they jump to. Anytime there's anything so I mean it's what men are talking about. I don't know if she's just ingested a lot of men talking about their problems in the world, but there's something where she's hyper focused on she's hyper focused in the masculine domain for whatever reason, but she still doesn't see them as capable. So she's trying to paint them as a victim of the women around them. I don't know why. So if you want to see somebody put that in a cartoon, sure, go watch it. Otherwise, I mean, you could just watch ample manosphere content that's already out there where people are explaining their thoughts as opposed to trying to pick through jokes to find that. I wouldn't suggest anybody watch this to learn anything, because I definitely wouldn't suggest anybody watch this to laugh.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend because you can't. I don't even feel like this is one of them shows you treat like Family Guy or American Dad that you can just throw on in the background and trust that you're gonna get a laugh while you're doing something else.
Like it passed.
This is just white noise.
Yeah, I think she's been consuming manosphere stuff as a way to finally get her white man she wants. That's why she's doing it. So she's like, I appeal to the white men. Maybe I'll finally snag me one, and then I can accept that I am worthy. But go ahead, Yellow.
This is the part where I'm gonna be like, bro, I hear you. I don't see it like that though. I don't see it like that.
Mindy clearly wants to bag her an influential white man. So she gotta appeal to their better nature, like on Happy Feet. Can I appeal to your better nature?
Right, but I don't think that's the case. Because if that was the case, she wouldn't be dragging white men or white people the way she do.
No, she hate them because they oppress her, but she at the same time need them so badly for her validation, and she hates it.
Can I point that out from the cartoon? Can I point that out because that happened in the cartoon? Her and her relationship with Velma's relationship with Daphne and Fred was that paradox. Like, she is desperate for both of these people. Like, Daphne is the person who kind of like was her best friend, and that's how men see the exploration of womanhood. No matter what we say, no matter what you say you want, you actually kind of want, you're like bi-curious. But then the only man you want, even though you got Norville in the friend zone, so she's got all the least attractive woman in this entire show, has all of the romantic options. It's a manosphere talking point. And even when you have all of the romantic options, you ignore the good dude, Norville. You'll either go the bi-curious way, or you'll follow the alpha man who follows the patriarchal model. Either the man with the money or the man who's dominant, who's going to be Fred because his father's dominant. He's going to turn him into himself. It's like, this is like the red pill philosophy. I don't know how she got there. This is that. And so it's like she's chasing that very same thing. She's chasing that white man. She said, like, even in the cartoon with Fred, I don't know why I'm so into him. Until such time he caves and wants her back, then she jilted him, which is her fantasy of jilting the person who's been jilting her this entire time. She wants to refuse the love of the person who's been refusing her love. Like, that she wrote this into the cartoon in a weird way.
Mic drop. Nope.
Like,
nope.
That's what I'm saying.
Black and white.
This is Mindy Kaling's love note to the white men she loves so much.
Yes. I like how bro said I would actually watch that show. What he described. I don't know if that's Velma. No,
that's what it is.
no.
I said it has pick-me energy. That's what I was talking about.
Remember,
like she wants. No, that's what the show is.
Remember the question? What would we take out? I would take out Mindy writing that message and insert Arshawn. That message I can understand, but I don't think it would be. He got it. It's like hearing a bad joke and understanding what they was trying to say, but the joke still not being good. I think Arshawn would deliver the joke better.
I picked up on it too, so clearly it's coming through. Like, I picked up on it. I was like, this show gotta be for red pill men or something, or women who seek red pill men. I don't know. I don't know who this show is for, but I know it's not for me.
I feel like this show was for Mindy, and it's a fucking hate letter. It's a hate letter to everybody. Like, it really, look, nobody in the show is smarter than her. Nobody in the show.
Velma? Oh, you're talking about.
Right. Everybody is trash to her. Like, I look at it as just, she's a hateful bitch, personally. Like, you know what I'm saying? On some real shit.
Yeah, she probably hate
Because
everybody because she's oppressed. She's an other. She's othered all the time. She's Indian.
and,
So she's not American, and she's dark. She's a dark skin. So she comes from a culture where colorism is a thing, and she's overweight. So she's all these things. So yeah, she hates everybody, but at the same time, she seeks validation of the people she hates.
and that's the point. Like, who is doing that to you? You get to say all that on a major platform like HBO Max and the animation, which ain't cheap. Animating a series ain't fucking cheap. Like, so it's the same thing with I don't want to hear you complaining about your oppressed situation.
But that's the as a black person, that's like a paradox that people exist in realistically. Like, there's the human face-to-face level, individual level that you interact with real people on, and then there's the collective level, right? Like, there's, as black people, if you were to write I don't know, black people have feelings about white people in general, but on a personal level, they can talk to white people and deal with white people and possibly even date white people. I've dated people who had feelings about the collective of black people and then simultaneously date a black person. So, like, that is a paradox that people can indeed exist in. You have this hatred of the group because of the things that they do to your group or other groups. But on an individual level, you still interact with them and sometimes seek validation from them, because especially if they're the oppressive power, if white men are the oppressors or the patriarchy is the oppressor, you still need validation from them to even make it. So, like, that's a real thing. Like, you can hate them and seek their validation at the same time because you need their validation because they control every fucking thing.
You getting it? So what the fuck is you complaining about?
Is she?
Getting it. So what the
She get it.
I
feel like that's why she keep doing it, because they love people like Mindy. They love people like Mindy.
I don't see.
They the one who keep putting her ass in stuff. Ain't no black people nowhere. Ain't no who's checking for Mindy at. I want to know who her
I'm gonna
audience
see
is.
Mindy Kaling in I doubt I'm gonna see her in a Get Out film.
We might be the most black people at one time to talk about Mindy Kaling on a single platform in a single conversation.
Megan Thomas said that's deep. Yes, like, nobody's checked. I feel like if I just had let's play who's Mindy Kaling's audience. Then we already talked about who we think Velma's audience is. Are they the same? We don't know. Who do you see sitting around watching Mindy Kaling stuff? Well, let's go with Rashawn first. He been quiet.
Her.
Outside of her, because she got an audience. Because networks putting her in shit, they giving her shows. She got somebody watching her ass. Who's watching her? And we know it ain't us.
Most people that got blue hair and vote for blue people.
Blue hair?
Yeah.
Feminists ain't watching no Mindy ass.
I bet you it's...
Oh, probably white feminists. I bet you it's a... White feminists.
I bet you it's a... it's a... Man, look, at this point, feminists ain't even got a color to it.
Oh, yes, it does.
It does.
Yeah, it
They
does.
got you.
It does.
The way that they are approached.
Tell you that it's different.
Right.
Like,
I was about to say.
They do.
The approaches that I've seen
it's different.
have been different.
It's a little different. So you said, Yella said feminists like Mindy. You don't think it's color specific?
That's the best way to sum it up. Feminists like Mindy.
Feminists.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see what you said. Yeah. I see what you did right there. Yeah. Feminists like Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's perfect for me.
And
in the meantime, if y'all
in the show,
who?
Because she was talking about she hasn't heard anybody to be that confident since her mom's in 2016. When Daphne had said that or something like that, in the show. So she even talked about them to some degree. Not negative.
Oh.
They come up in conversation. So, Rashawn, who do you picture when you think of somebody sitting on their couch watching Mindy's stuff, including Velma? I don't think Rashawn? Earth to Rashawn. Okay. One. Who do you see in your
Might
mind's
be
eye?
talking. He unmuted.
My answer is the one that has been stated because I fully agree with it and can't think of a reason to contest it. It's feminists that are like Mindy. That's who is tuning in. That is who has watched every episode of the Mindy Project, watched The Office solely for her, and then tune into Velma with flying with like all of the cheer in their hearts. That's who it's for.
I've just never imagined
I mean,
somebody watching The Office with an idiot.
Am
Oh,
I back?
Rashawn's here. Yeah, you been.
Oh,
Good
God.
bite.
Hey, we hear
Jeez.
you.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened, but I don't know. I'm struggling, is what I was trying to say. I'm struggling, and then of course my audio was struggling. But I'm struggling to think of who might be watching her because, like you said, I think she herself feels like a person with no place to inhabit. Like she feels out all the different spheres. Like Yellow saying, like it's a hate letter to everybody. So I think she doesn't feel like she fits in anywhere. I think this will just the outcast, the social misfits. I think that's her, where you can't really comfortably fit into any of the popular zones. I think that's Mindy, and I think that would be her crowd. That's the close. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know who those people are, but I think there's, of all ilks, there's people that just don't feel like they fit in, so they hover around feminism. They might hover around manosphere. They might hover around a lot of places that are kind of, sort of like them, but not completely. But they always stay on the outskirts. I think that's Mindy.
Maybe the show for Rashawn.
Wow.
Rashawn, is the
It's
show
like
for
he
you?
don't want to find all the themes.
Wow.
Maybe
Just him.
just
Just him.
Rashawn. Rashawn, you
It's
still
for anybody
secretly
who
married
gets
to
it.
Mindy Kaling? Let us know. We won't judge you. She your type.
I am not secret. I'm not secretly married to Mindy Kaling. She could be my type. She a little angsty. She a little aggy. She, thinks she's smart. She's a little
She a
arrogant.
little
It might
aggy.
be my type. Might be my type.
You might have found your type.
Might have found my type. Might be Mindy.
Dover said he likes Mindy's crazy eyes. She does have crazy, intense eyes. Trash Can Wade said the race swapping, the getting rid of Scooby Doo. Why can't the wokeness create new material of their own instead of just exactly? I don't feel like this had to have any IP of Scooby Doo to be what it is. And if Mindy
They could've
Kaling
just
is
put
enough of a
anything.
draw for her audience, they could have just made an animated cartoon Mindy Kaling.
And save this specific concept for Scooby-Doo. Like, I guess not specific concept, but this idea for Scooby-Doo for someone that actually wants to do this more successfully with this intention in mind. Because I really slick kind of want to see edgy, more a Harley Quinn version of Scooby-Doo. Like, give them. I would have been fine with the Monster of the Week situation until and as we're solving those crimes, we get a little storyline in between there as a through line. But what we got, I'm just not a fan of, and I'm so mad because I don't think nobody's gonna make another edgy Scooby-Doo after this.
No, because I would have
So
loved
that's-
a Scooby-Doo where they solve mysteries of the modern sort. And even if you wanted to put them in TikTok, not TikTok, high school, who posted this TikTok, who this, and teach us about some of the newer phenomenon that's going on, social commentary. Because I think in the old Scooby-Doo, it was always the monster was really the people. Behind the mask of monsters, there's really real people you got to be scared of. And I feel like that was kind of the whole idea of Scooby-Doo in a very juvenile way because it wasn't heavy. But there's so much room to explore that closer to the original, closer to the people behind, what's really going on. You could have highlighted mental health. You could have done all sorts of things with the idea of Scooby-Doo and bring it into modern times with SJW stuff, wokeness, feminism, red pill, all of that stuff. You could have did that with the mystery game, solving mystery, and just modernized it. Why this ain't even that.
Because it would have put more focus on everybody else instead of just her.
So you think she's a narcissist?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Mindy Kaling's a narcissist?
I cannot give her that. I promise you she is. I cannot give her that much credit that she hid this deep down intention to try to show the plight of men. And in fact, her whole idea is that men are shitty. She is the slave owner that'll sleep with the slaves.
And she could have easily let somebody else do Velma. If you're going to already be the creator of it, you can let somebody voice Velma. But she decided that was the
Gotta
choice.
be in it.
Right. She wants to be the one to say all of that shit.
That's how you know she was like, bitch, this shit's so good. They about to eat this shit the fuck up.
Right.
Scooby Doo like you ain't never seen. Tyler Perry, Popeye's Tyler Perry, because he sat there and wrote them 50 scripts. If she sat there and wrote them 50 scripts in like 4 months and want to post it on Instagram and brag about it, this is what he knew. That shit, all of that shit on that table was fire to him. Meanwhile, we looking at this chopped and screwed piece of bullshit that we expected to digest in a positive way.
Damn it, Tyler Perry. He going to hell for them wigs alone. But yeah, Chelsea Handler, that Lena Dunham, I don't like none of them. So, I mean, that's who they probably do all like the same people do kind of, like it. But I don't think she's narcissistic. I'm gonna diagnose her with borderline personality. This show feels like the DSM-5 description of borderline personality disorder. That's the best way to describe this show. Read the DSM-5. This is what borderline personality disorder is. That's Velma.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read that because I don't know what them letters mean. But
the DSM-5 is what people like therapists, psychologists, psychotherapists use to diagnose actual personality disorder. So, for instance, if you're saying, oh, they're narcissists, there's narcissistic personality disorder. You have to hit 7 or 8 DSM-5 characteristics to be diagnosed. This is how you actually diagnose actual things. Reference that book. So I feel like this show feels like borderline personality. Like when you read about how they are, you're like, this is this fucking show. Like they don't have any sense of identity. They don't change and they can't maintain relationships and it feels like I'm in mental illness when I watch the show.
In it.
I'm in it. I am in mental illness. And if that was what she wanted to do with the show, I could even get behind that. If you're like, this is life through the lens of borderline personality disorder, I'd be like, okay. But that's what it feels like. So maybe, and that's what Mindy Project feel like. Matter of fact, everything she's in feels that way. So.
Hater.
What'd you say?
Well.
Rashawn,
I just said hater. That's all.
I was
just gonna say I will use a joke from the actual Velma show to refute your point. I think I should probably spend more than 3 minutes online before I diagnose somebody with a mental health issue.
I'm deciding to diagnose her. I'm definitely gonna just go ahead and diagnose her, which is not okay. You can't just diagnose people. I went through that whole DSM-5 thing. But if I had to guess, I wouldn't say she's a narcissist. I would say probably more something. Identity issues.
She suffered from a bitch-a-thymia. It's like alexithymia, like how they, you know what I'm saying, like how you say people who are alexithymic don't understand their emotions.
Yeah.
Because she don't understand she's a bitch. Don't understand that she's an asshole. And that she is the unlikable element.
It's not because of her race. It's not because she a brown girl. Right. It's because she's intolerable as a human.
It literally has nothing to do with that. It's because a piece of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The views expressed by Yella on this show are his alone. I do think she's probably terrible, and I wouldn't want to share a room with her, but I could be.
I wouldn't want her to breathe the same air I breathe because I might come down with a bitch of thing.
You are the worst.
You know what I'm saying?
You're the worst.
It is contagious.
You're the worst. Look, Rashawn's like dropping sus faces in the wow right now. But
you know how they you know how they got the mesothelioma things? Like if you've been exposed to
They be starting having kind of commercials for all kind of shit on TV, like for real.
Have you been exposed to Mindy Kaling? And have developed.
She got her audience, but I have a feeling her audience wouldn't really even enjoy this though. For some, I feel like this is a genre they tap into, like cartoons and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's the other thing about it. It's like, well, that audience is kind of specific. So this also doesn't feel like something that her usual audience would even naturally gravitate towards. You know what I mean? So that's also weird to me. The medium that they chose for this makes it weird. And
it isn't. It's one of the shows on HBO that doesn't feel like it is on HBO.
Yeah. Like
Like,
Harley
I feel like this
Quinn
should be on
feels-
Comedy Central or something.
Yeah, it feels like it should be on Comedy Central. Cause
It
like
feels off. You're right.
if this show would have been on Comedy Central to some degree, not to shade Comedy Central, but for me, most Comedy Central shows are the most unfunny shows I've ever seen. So this would have fit right in. If it would have been like Velma coming on Comedy Central, I would be like, this ain't for me.
You know what? It probably would have gave us more of a brace, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I feel like it would have been a little bit more palatable.
right. Because
If it
Comedy
was.
Central has a certain brand of comedy that's not my brand of comedy. So I
Like,
would go in-
Drawn Together.
yeah, like, or BoJack. Was that even Comedy Central or was it Cartoon
I think that's
Network?
Netflix.
I think that was
BoJack Horseman
Cartoon
and
Network
Netflix.
first.
That's not
It came on TNT? I don't know. But there's like channels that I don't really like Comedy Central shows. Like, I'm not into none of their shows. The last thing on there that was decent was Key and Peele. So I don't know. I would have been a little bit more brave. But for anybody listening to this, watch Harley Quinn. It's better.
Yes. If you are dropping this, pick up Harley Quinn. That shit is hilarious. Shout out to Frank. Frank is for my forever character on that
Oh
show.
my God, I love Frank. I just like, Twan told me about Frank, and I'm only like one episode in, but I had to go find some Frank clips because I was like, I gotta see this. And Frank is like the best. Like, Harley Quinn does feminism well, and it also pokes fun at the feminism at the same time, or like the idea of like how women exist. Like, you think you're so independent, but you have all this help. Like, it just pokes fun at like just how the hubris of women at the same time as it's showing like some of the plight of women who are in it. Like Harley Quinn dealing with her codependent ways, Joker, and Joker being, it's so good. It already establishes so well. And I'm like, this is how you do feminism as taking an old property, putting a feminist spin on it, and making it funny at the same time. Like, this is how
And we
you do
get
it.
all the characters in just a slightly different light. Like, I love, like, even Batman in this show, I love when he pops in, especially I ain't gonna spoil it, but I think it's either end of season 1 or season 2. Something big happens to Batman. I was just like, I've been waiting to see some shit.
I mean, I just like how Batman, like, also, yes, like how even in the first couple episodes, it's like how he is in this world. It's like, damn, like, you have this moment where you're like, Batman's not the focus, but him just showing up at random moments and stuff is hilarious to me. Like, I just look. So they do it well. So watch Harley Quinn on HBO. How many seasons is out? Because I'm so mad HBO didn't recommend this to me.
3 seasons, I think.
3? It's so good.
Yeah.
I was dying. Like, it had me cackling first episode. So I don't know. Check that out. If this is a disappointment, I feel like that show is what this show wish it was. And maybe that's why HBO picked it up, because they were like, Harley Quinn's doing great. Like, we have an audience over here for Harley Quinn. They probably kicked it that the Harley Quinn audience like Velma. I feel like that's the only reason HBO picked it up, because they probably like, you already have a Harley Quinn. Because the only reason the Harley Quinn show came up for me was because I watched Velma.
Oh, really? I saw it on DC Universe. I think that's what's called DC, the streaming.
I don't watch
DC
none of the
streaming.
DC cartoons. I don't watch any of the DC cartoons, so it didn't come up for me that way. And then after I watched Velma, it came up literally as the next thing I watched.
See, I gave up on DC Universe. It was one of them like pandemic specials. You know what I'm saying? I had picked it up because I was watching Titans and and Doom Patrol. That's what I was watching.
Yeah, I was watching Doom Patrol too.
I didn't even know that was I was on there because I'm looking. It came out in 2019.
I was like,
I watched it. I watched it for the first time over quarantine with my ex. It was awesome.
I'm like, how did I miss this? So I guess I wasn't the audience, but I guess that's the only good thing that came from Velma is Harley Quinn. So thank you, Velma, for getting me to Harley Quinn some kind of way. Any final thoughts y'all want to give on Velma? We're going to go ahead and end the Velma discussion here. And me and Twan are going to take a second just to talk about the latest episode of Mayfair, which is like maybe 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to end up snipping this into 2 segments. So after the live, this will be gone off the YouTube side. And then I'll cut the Velma conversation and this next part off, and it'll be posted in separate videos. So everybody who's hanging around for the Velma conversation and gave your input, appreciate it. We're going to move on to Mayfair Witches. But any final thoughts you want to give? about Velma, Rashawn or Yella. And Rashawn, if you want to say something about Mayfair Witches, you're free to stay. I know Yella ain't watching it, so.
Oh no, it's cool. It's too trash to even waste my time on.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and move on to.
You stay right here. You park your ass right here in this Discord. Yella, is there anything you want to say about Velma? Closing thoughts before Rashawn catch his hands?
I will continue to hate watch Velma. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm not watching it through HBO Max, so she ain't getting no views from me. So you know what I'm saying? It's all good. That's the only reason I hate watching a lot. So, it's trash. We know it's trash. I think she's a trash human.
Damn. Watch Last of Us.
Come on, girl. You right there with them. Don't call that.
I am. I just have to pretend. I have to posture like I have a higher moral code than Yella.
This is like it keeps with the continuity of our relationship.
It's all good.
It was